Welcome to our exciting Language Under Load workshop, which I've really been looking forward to for the last couple of weeks. And before I introduce our workshop presenter and guest speaker, Kevin, I'm going to let people know why we're here, because this is predominantly for my community. And even if you're not part of my direct community, it'll be emailed out to everyone who I've coached, have the privilege of coaching in the past. And the background is a lot of the people that I'm coaching, and myself included, are going through a period where perhaps their gains are slowing down a little bit, and they're getting to weights where what is actually holding them back is the words that we're using and the emotion that is associated with those words. So when the bar gets heavy, your language becomes your first line of strength rather than just relying on our bodies. Your words shape your breath, your stories, and your nervous system. And your nervous system shapes your lift. Language Under Load is a practical, lifted, informed workshop led by coach and athlete Kevin Wood, designed to help lifters and coaches understand how the stories they carry and the words they choose directly influence performance under pressure. This is the mindset work that you can feel in your body. And who is this for? Well, it's for lifters and it's who want to feel calmer, clearer, and more capable under heavy load. Because let's be real, people, that's why we're here. That's why my motto is strong for life, because we want to load ourselves. So when we load our bodies, what load is going through our mind, and that's what we're going to discuss today. This is also for coaches who want to more effective communication, or anyone who really wants to understand how language shapes performance, mindset, and confidence. So, in saying all of that, I'm going to hand you over to Kevin, our lovely leader for this particular conversation. And Kevin can let you know all about himself. By the way, before we do that, this is my little sidekick, Sue. She's going to be our little guinea pig today, and she's going to reflect, no doubt, the stories and the words that most of the people, or if not all of the people today, are hearing in their heads as they load their bodies. So welcome, Kevin.
Thank you for the introduction. Appreciate it. I hope the people that are watching this, you realize that this is going to be a practical session. So before you even continue listening, push pause, go get a pen or a pencil, go get a sheet of paper, a Post-it note, because this is going to be interactive. You're going to be writing things down. You're going to be experiencing this workshop, not just being a passive participant. So with that said, again, thank you for having me. I've been a coach now for over 20 years. I started out as a physical education teacher and then transitioned into a CrossFit coach. And then I actually started, so I'm from Canada, a little place called New Brunswick, a little province on the East Coast. And myself and another guy were responsible for reigniting the weightlifting association in our province. So I really just liked lifting weights. We made it official. So now people are qualifying for, provincials, nationals, worlds, Pan Ams, and it's been a great journey since. I've since handed that responsibility off to other people, so they have more energy and time to grow the New Brunswick Weightlifting Association, but I'm still a part of it. I'm still a technical referee. I'm still a coach, and I'm still an active athlete in it myself. As a master's athlete, of course, because I'm an old fart, and why not? So, I actually I've just finished up fire school a couple months ago, and the literal day that I was leaving, I was competing at my home gym. We were running provincials, and it was going to be a qualifying event. And 3 hours after I was on the platform, I was to be on an airplane to go to fire school, which is kind of crazy. And I ended up qualifying for Masters Worlds, which was a shock because that wasn't the goal. The goal was to just go have fun, and it resulted in unexpected results, and that's going to be tied into this presentation today. So again,
amazing. say congratulations. And
Thank you so much. They are in Greece, and tickets from here are like $3,000 each. So it ain't going to happen this year, but it was an honor to be nominated. So, so yeah, this is the language under load, and it's going to be very weightlifting centric. So we're going to talk about a lot of examples, both from personal experience and from your own experience as well. So I love this quote: when the bar gets heavy, your language gets loud. And anybody that's been under a heavy bar knows exactly what this means. I don't need to describe it. I don't need to go into detail. You already know what this means. And it's going to be very specific for you. And what is that language? It's going to be whatever your default is. And my goal here today is to help you change that default language so that it's going to be productive and useful for you, and not something that's considered a barrier or something that's getting in your way from making progress. I also love this quote here: pressure doesn't create language, it reveals it. Pressure, it's going to happen. It happens in our life. When stressful things happen, it doesn't create the language in your head. It just reveals the language that's already there. And same with being under a heavy bar or lining up for a lift. The language it's there. It's already going in your head, even before you step up to it, because now it's being revealed. What is that language? And I'd like to uncover that. So before we talk about language, I need to talk about mindset. And when we talk about mindset, if we look it up in the basic dictionary, this is one of the main definitions: a person's state of mind. If you've ever heard of a circular definition, it's where you use the word to describe or define the word that you're describing. So this doesn't really tell us anything. A person's state of mind. Okay, and then what? So there's lots of different definitions for mindset, but they all kind of base around this same concept. And it doesn't really tell us anything. I also really don't even like the word mindset, because when you break that word down into its two components, mindset, set mind. If something is set, it means that it's solid. It doesn't move. It's not flexible. And that's not really what mindset is, right? Our mindset should be flexible. It should be something that adapts and evolves over time. And that's my goal again here today, is to make sure that we're adapting our mindset. If you think back to when you were 4 or 5 years old, you don't have the same mindset that you did back then that you do now. Your mindset has shifted and evolved as you aged. So we know that it's flexible. We know that we can change it, right? So when we talk about mindset, mindset is really equal to your identity. And that is exactly equal to your story. So when somebody tells me that they want a better mindset, what they're telling me is that they want to tell themselves a better story, or they want a better identity. And so all of these are exactly equal. You can use these words interchangeably when talking about your mindset. So if somebody says, I have a crappy mindset, really what they're describing is they're telling themselves a crappy story, and you have the ability to change that. You are the author of your life. Nobody else is. Yes, things might happen to you, but you have the choice on how to respond to that. You see that with people that are born in, they're in the same household that's abusive, and there's drugs in the family, and one kid goes off and does very successful things, and the other follows in the same footsteps. Well, they both were under the same situation, but one chose something different, a different path. So we know that there's a lot of choice involved. So the mindset, a person's state of mind, again, garbage definition. I don't like it. It doesn't really describe anything. The real good definition, real good, that's real good language. The story that you tell yourself to yourself. That is what mindset is. It's the story that you tell yourself to yourself. And again, just like you have chapters in a book, you have different chapters in your life. And you get to be, again, the author of those chapters. So I want to go over a few examples. These are things that I've personally heard people say when they're coming up to a weightlifting event or they're in a training session. And you can just nod along if you've said these or heard these yourself. I always miss heavy cleans. I suck overhead. I'm not confident. What kind of emotions? So let's get into the interactive part here. Sue, pick one of these sentences and just say it out loud for me.
I always miss heavy cleans.
How does that make you feel when you say that?
Like a failure.
Would it help you make heavy cleans down the road?
No.
Why not? You're highlighting what you suck at.
Yeah.
It doesn't work though that way, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No. So why would we say these to ourselves? Would you ever say that sentence to somebody else?
No.
Would you ever look at Leanne and say, hey, Leanne, you always miss heavy cleans?
No, never.
Why not?
I would be her friend.
Right. You would never say that to somebody else. So why do we give ourselves permission to say it to ourselves? If you talk to your friends that way, you would not have any friends, right?
No.
So these are the things that we hear people say all the time. And you might not even say it. It really just has to come down to a thought. So our language is broken into kind of different categories. There's internal language and there's external language. External language is the things like that we say, that we write out, or that we could be typing out. That's all external language. Internal language is our thoughts. So of those four, which is the slowest? Thinking, writing, typing, or speaking? Which one would be the slowest?
Writing.
Yeah. So we can slow those thoughts down by writing them out. Which one's the fastest?
Thinking.
Right. How fast is a thought?
Millisecond.
Right. It's literally like the speed of light. Like it's the fastest thing ever, right? And so if you have racing thoughts or negative thoughts, those thoughts are fast. You can't always change those in the moment. But what you can do is take those thoughts, pick up a pen, and write them down, because that's going to take those fast racing thoughts and slow them down. And then we can start editing. That's the beauty of writing things down, is that you can change those words by just editing them or crossing them out. Let's take that first one. I always miss heavy cleans. Is that true? You always miss heavy cleans?
Not always, no. Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't always miss heavy cleans, what's the opposite of that?
I always get them. I always do them.
Okay. So we can go somewhere in the middle, right? We can say, I sometimes make heavy cleans.
Yeah. True.
I am successful with heavy cleans on occasion. Great. That sounds way different. It feels different to say it, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to, I always miss heavy cleans. That means that you've never hit a single heavy clean in your life, which we obviously know is not true.
Yeah.
But we say it and we think it, and it becomes our reality, right? So how do we get better at mindset? How do we get better at a new identity? And how do we get better at telling ourselves new stories? I'll first tell you what it isn't. It's not downloading a motivational app on your phone and getting a little snippet sent to you in the morning and says, you're an awesome person. Have a great day. That's not how you get better at mindset, because that good feeling will last for about 2.3 seconds and then it's gone. That's definitely not it. It's not listening to another podcast or reading another book or signing up for another program. It has nothing to do with those external things. It's internal. You get better at mindset by your own words. I'll give you an example here. This was me at that lift back in February prior to going out onto the platform. What was I thinking here? Do you think it was negative thoughts like, you can't do this, it's going to be too heavy, you didn't train enough for this, you always miss heavy cleans?
No,
Do you think that's what was going through my mind at that time?
no, not at all.
Why not? Why not?
Because you wouldn't be here speaking to me now if that did go through your mind. No, I
That's so
think
cool.
you'd
Yeah.
be thinking, I got this.
Right.
Never mind. Yeah.
So it was positive things like, and I'm going to get into the different types of language that we have. We have soft talk and we have solid talk, and we're going to talk about the difference between the two. But in this moment, it was solid talk. I'm going to give some examples of that later on. We often hear people do a lot of, or think or say a lot of things that are called negations. So negations are, we're hyper focusing on the negative part of what we want to do, right? So the negation is, don't miss. So if we want to flip that script, how would we say that in the opposite sense, in the affirmative sense?
I'm going to get this.
Yeah, make this lift, right?
Yeah.
So we're taking it from the negative and flipping it over, right? Another one I'll hear, this is too heavy. How can we flip that?
Well, I would say it's going to feel heavy, but that's okay.
Or let's try this. This is going to be challenging.
Yeah.
Because what are challenges?
Yeah.
Challenges are just things to overcome. Okay, I can do that. But if it's too heavy, that means that you can't overcome it. You're succumbing to external forces. I can't do anything about it. It's too heavy. That means I can't move it. But if it's a challenge, hold on a second. I've been challenged in my life before, and I've overcome those challenges. Therefore, this is just something that I can work towards. Right? It's just a little different way of saying it or thinking about it. You're just shifting your language, right?
Yep.
You may have heard this before. Abracadabra. What comes to mind when we say the word abracadabra? Right off the bat. Magic, right? And abracadabra is actually translated loosely to, with my words I create. And so if you can create it with your words, it's going to be more likely to come true. And I believe in this so much that I have it tattooed on my arm in a pen. Abracadabra. Your pen is magic, because you can take those thoughts, you can take those words that you're constantly moving around in your head and write them down. I love doing this visualization. I wish I had one here and I don't know where it went, but I usually have a marble in my office here. So can I do a little visualization activity with you?
Yep.
All right. I'll need you to close your eyes and just imagine the things that I'm describing as I'm describing them. Okay. So I want you to imagine that you're in your house, and in your house, you're doing some laundry. So I want you to go into your laundry room. In your laundry room, beside your dryer, is a bucket of marbles. I want you to open your dryer door and take that bucket of marbles and put them in your dryer. I'm going to get you to close the door of the dryer and now turn the dryer on. What is happening right now? I want you to imagine the sounds, the feelings that you have inside as these marbles are going around and around in your dryer. What kind of emotions does that bring up?
Oh, craziness.
Craziness. What else? Keep going. Leanne, you can chime in here.
I would say overwhelmed, because it's way too much noise.
Yep. It's chaos. It doesn't feel good, right? It's like, what? I had one person who would describe, they're like, you broke my dryer. Right? But those are like, it's crazy. There's so much stuff happening. It's loud. It's chaotic, right? And that marble, I wish I had something here. I don't know. I'll take this piece of paper and ball it up. This is my marble here. So every one of those marbles, I would consider a thought. And those thoughts are just bouncing inside your head. What you have the ability to do is push pause on that dryer, take out one of those marbles, look at it. What is that thought? Take that thought and put it on paper. And when you put it on paper, you push the pause button. You're stopping the chaos. And when I look at that thought, or that piece of paper, that marble, think, and I ask myself, is there anything I can do about this right now? And if the answer is yes, what do I have now?
You've got a solution.
You have a goal. You have something that you can work towards. If I look at that thought and ask myself, is there anything I can do about that? And the answer is no, then what?
Toss it.
Gone. There's nothing I can do about it. So there's no point in worrying about that anyway, right? There are things that are outside of your control and outside of your circumstances, and there's nothing that you can do. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It's what I often think of when I'm stuck in traffic. There's nothing I can do about this right now. Okay. That's it. It's over, right? There's nothing I can do. So there's no point in worrying about it, right? So we're going to play this little game. This is, again, another interactive component here. So if you're watching the replay, I'd like you to pause this and write down all of these words. However, little asterisks here, I want you to write it bigger. Write it with your left hand or your non-dominant hand, but make the words bigger and different than how you would normally write this down. The reason for that, if you just write it in your normal handwriting, you're not going to remember it. It's just going to blend in with all the other notes that you have all over your house and all over your desk. So it has to be different. So the soft talk words here are probably, guess, maybe, could, might, possibly, sort of, kind of, hopefully, I hate that one day, try, and should. So when we include these words in our language, what we're saying is that we don't really believe in anything that we're about to do. Again, here are some common phrases that I've heard on the lifting platform or right before people went out onto the platform. Sue, maybe you could read that first one for us.
Yep, I might make this lift.
How confident are you that you're going to make the lift?
50-50.
Yeah, not confident at all, right?
Yeah, no.
So the best part about soft talk is that all we have to do is eliminate the soft talk. We literally take our pen, cross that out. So let's just take the word might out of there and re-say the sentence for me.
I make this lift.
Yeah. How does that feel?
Pretty good.
Are you more confident than 50-50?
Oh, I got it. 100%. Yeah.
There you go. It's different. It's just your words, right? But our words lead to different actions, right? Because it changes our belief system. It's crazy. Try that next one for me.
I hope I don't miss.
That's a double. That's a double whammy, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a negation, don't miss, and we're also chucking a soft talk word in there, which makes me want to throw up. Ugh, it's a gross one. Right? So let's just edit it, right? Let's just take out the soft talk first. We'll do it one step at a time. So we'll take out I hope and just say
I don't miss.
Yeah. And again, we know that that's a negation and we're focused on the negative component of it. So how could we turn that into an affirmation, something that's positive?
I will not miss. No.
Still a negative.
I will get it. I will get it.
I'll make it. Great.
I'll make it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's way different. It's just you're saying the same thing, but different. You're saying it in a more positive light. You're highlighting the positive aspect to it, right?
Yep.
Last one. This one really makes me want to throw up in my mouth here.
This is me. I guess I'll try this weight.
Wow. That's about as soft as it gets, right? I guess I'll try this weight.
Yeah.
Too much soft talk in there. So let's just take the first one out. We'll take out I guess first.
Yep. I'll try this weight.
Is that better than I guess I'll try this weight?
A little bit, not a lot.
Yep. But a little bit better, right? So that's what happens when you take soft talk out. We just took one of them away, slight improvement, right?
Yep.
Let's take out try.
I'll do this weight.
You said, I want everybody to tune in, rewind it if you can. She said it differently. The tone, the confidence level, I'll do this weight. It was very like to the point, like confident. It was way different than I'll try this weight. You just said it differently, right? That's the cool part about soft talk. So again, take these words, make them big, put it up somewhere. Bring it with you to the weight room the next time you're going for training, and just have it around. If you're comfortable with other people calling you out, ask them. Say, hey, if you ever hear me say these words, call me out on it. And get that a little bit of accountability. If you can have an accountability buddy, and then you both call each other out on it, awesome. I have these posted up at our gym, and our members will call each other out on it. They'll say, that's a soft word. You cannot say that here. Yeah, it's like a sacrament. Yeah. So it's all part of it.
Sorry. The other thing is, a lot of times these words, these phrases are said silently in your mind where people can't call you out.
Correct. You can see it in their faces, though. Mm-hmm. Hey, what was that thought you just had? Mm-hmm. You know, right? You can tell if somebody's coming up and they're pacing. You can see it in their body language, right? How are they sitting? How are they breathing? Are they hyper, right? Are they getting like ramped up? Not in a good way, right? Hey, what are the thoughts that are going through your mind right now? What are you thinking? What's your brain saying? And if they start rambling or motor mouthing, whoa, let's slow that down. Let's write that down, right? Because their thoughts are racing. They're not strolling thoughts. They're racing thoughts. Here's some solid talk. And going back to that picture of me before making that lift, these are the kinds of words that I'm repeating to myself over and over again. Deep breath. I usually put my name on it, like I'm talking to myself, for myself. Deep breath, Kevin. Yeah. You got this, Kevin. Right? Like I'm coaching myself through this. Drive. Under's my big one. I don't like squatting. So I always have to say the word under, drop, squat, fast. So really like actionable words that I can just repeat on over and over. And there's videos of me on the platform, and you can see my mouth moving as I'm stepping up to the bar. And all I'm saying is those words: fast under, fast under, fast under. Not, well, I hope I might make this lift one day. That's not going to help me lift the bar at all, right? Stay tall, fast under. Yeah, I had that on here, right? So I want you to come up with your own solid words. This is going to be very unique to each individual. I mentioned before that I don't enjoy getting under the bar fast. So that's my words. It's the affirmation of that. Fast under, drop quick, whatever it is. Write that down, and that's your mantra before going on the platform, before getting under the bar, right? We just ran the CrossFit Total at our gym last weekend. So we built up to a 1 rep max back squat, shoulder press, and deadlift. I was going for a 400-pound back squat. If I said to myself going up to that squat, this is too heavy, I've never lifted this before, I have no business doing this, I'm 45 years old, I shouldn't be squatting this much weight, obviously it's not going to go well, right? So all I said going up to it, I had my hands on the bar, I was closing my eye, I think there's a picture of it somewhere, and I was just repeating the mantra over and over: drive hard. That was it, drive hard. Now, I didn't make it, but it was awesome to be under 400 pounds for the first time ever. So it doesn't matter if you make it or not. We're going to talk about that too. That's coming up. But it was those words, right? If I had those negations in my head, or I had that soft talk in my head prior to going under, then there would have been zero chance of me hitting it. but at least giving myself an opportunity and a chance to do it, it felt good. And I came away from it like happy about it. It was an awesome experience. I hope you can see this. This is my actual notebook that I took with me when I went to the Pan Am Games. This was in 2021, I believe. I just finished up my Enlifted Level 1 with Leanne. And I found a room. There was just like a conference room, an empty conference room in the hotel that we were in. And prior to going out to do my warm up, I wrote these down and I said them out loud. I said them out loud slowly. And then I said them out loud slowly and took a deep breath in and a deep breath out after each one. What if I make all 6 lifts? What if I get a new PR? What if I exceed my expectations? What if every lift feels fast and solid? What if I enjoy my time on stage? After the event, after my last clean and jerk, my 6th lift, I ran backstage to my wife who was coaching me, and I went into my backpack and I pulled this out and I said, look, they all came true. All of them. Made all 6, got a new PR, exceeded my expectations, came in 5th overall in North America. What? What if every lift felt fast and solid? They did. And I really had a good time. It was so fun to be on like an international stage. What if the good stuff? Because oftentimes we what if the bad stuff. What if I fail this lift? What if I don't make it? What if I look like I don't know what I'm doing? You're always what ifing the bad. So what's going to happen? The bad, right? So you guys have a thing coming up on Saturday, is that correct? A little event?
Yeah, this time tomorrow we'll have just finished. So
Okay.
I am encouraging everyone that I send this to right after we get off this. I'll send it out when it's finished, editing. And I'm encouraging everyone to bring something from today, whatever resonates with them, to our what I call it's our Super Saturday. And there's no rules. The only thing is you turn up and do what you feel you want to do for the day and do your best. Put in your best effort. That's the only rule. So whether someone comes in and says, I want to do a PB, a 1RM, I want to do a 3RM, I just want to be here to be part of it. But we do want to use something from today to bring into tomorrow.
Cool. This is it. I want everybody to write down at least one what if statement of something good and just see what happens. See what happens.
Fantastic. So what I'll do then, Kevin, is I know that some people won't get the opportunity to watch this necessarily tonight. So I will send that out to them as a different instruction. And I'll say, rightio, everyone, I want you to write in one what if statement of something good that you want to come out of tomorrow on our Super Saturday.
Amazing.
And we'll give you some feedback on that too.
Cool. Awesome. I'm going to leave you with this, my final picture. I missed it. It was my last lift. Why do I look so happy? Like that face is pure contentment. Like, oh my God, yes. But I missed it. Why am I so happy in that lift?
Because your what if came true. Whatever you said, what if, you actually did it. So you're happy.
This was a lift that I had never put on the bar before. I've never had 2 reds for a clean and jerk on the bar in my competition history. And I was basically dared to do it. I didn't have a coach this day. This was when I qualified for Worlds, right? So the Worlds was already there. I made it on my second attempt. This was my last attempt. Another coach backstage, he's like, "You gonna do 2 reds?" I'm like, "Oh, I've never done 2 reds before." He goes, "What do you got to lose?" I'm like, "I like that." So I walked over to the announcer's table and I said, 225 or whatever the not 125. And right after he changed the card, the number on the card, I go, his name was Greg. I go, "Hey Greg, I just want you to know I'm having a really fun time today." And he's like, because no one ever says that. They're always stressed out. Everybody's like hyped up and they're all worried about their lifts because they want to do things, right? And I'm having a fun time. So I went out, I set up. What do you think I said in my head before I went up to the bar? Remember what I always say?
Fast under.
Fast under, fast under, fast under. And I got under that bar for the first time in my life. And about halfway up, it just slid like a quarter of an inch down my shoulder. And I got spit out the back. But it was the first time that I had ever got under that bar. So I had done something that I had never done before. And that's why I'm smiling in that picture. And now I know it's possible. And because I know it's possible, I'm going to hit that the next time. So you can always learn something. It's your mindset, right? I could have went away from that and been upset. Oh my God, it was so close. Why am I such a failure? I didn't make my goal or whatever. But I learned something from it. And I was very happy that I learned something from it. So again, when you choose your words, you will change your performance.
Fantastic. Thanks, Kevin. That's really great. Oh, we're half and half on now. That's okay. Come closer, Sue.
Oh,
yeah, that's really, really great insight into the mind of a lifter, which is exactly why I wanted Kevin here with us today. And I know there's some ladies in here who don't do Olympic weightlifting. They do powerlifting. It doesn't matter. There's a bar on your shoulders, or there's a bar over your head, or there's a heavy bar on the ground, and it doesn't matter what performance you are doing or what movement you're doing. The words are very common to us all. And I like to bring out the Robinson Crusoe quote here. You're not Robinson Crusoe when it comes to the words that are going through your head with those heavy attempts with the heavy bar. So I like to encourage people to lift heavy at the right time. I'm not just going to let you walk into the gym and try and do a 100-kilo deadlift when you haven't learnt 50. And when that time comes, if we can focus in on how our language changes the perception of that load, whether it's I am so happy that I was brave enough to take that opportunity. So you were brave enough to take that opportunity. A lot of people would have said, "There's no way I'm doing that. I'm not ready."
Yeah.
You were brave enough to take that opportunity, and you learned something about yourself through that performance or through that experience. And that's what I want for our community of ladies who are turning up every week, lifting trusting the process of the program. So, we would do 5s, then we would do 3s, and then we would do 2s. And life is all good until we get to the 1s. Okay. So,
or the PB one.
Yeah, well, the thing that you haven't done before is the thing we haven't done before.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted you on here, Kevin, because that's a really interesting phenomena. And I'm just going to give people a really quick example of that. This morning, right before I got on this call, we were doing 2 heavy doubles, with one of our ladies doing bench press. So we went in there, and she's fairly new to it. So she was doing doubles at 26. Now, on the second rep of the 26, I'd put one finger on the bar for the second rep because she just couldn't quite get it yet. So rather than say, okay, let's take the load back, let's keep the 26 on there. And I want you to feel that weight all the way up. I want you to keep pushing. Even if I've got one finger on that bar, you're continuing to push through that. So on the third set of 26, so it was our third double, she walked away, went over, recorded it in her phone. She thought I'd taken some weight off. So she comes back, and she does the 26 so easy, and then does it again. And I said, you just did, look what happened. You just did 26 on your third double. You did 26 so easy. She goes, what do you mean it was 26? I thought you took some weight off. So that is a practical example on how your mind, how your words can actually influence the outcome of your performance. Because she thought it was lighter, it was lighter. It felt lighter. Your words affect your emotions and your feelings. So that is why I wanted you on here, Kevin, because you completely understand what our community is feeling, thinking and feeling every time we step into the gym and get the opportunity to challenge our limits.
And I had two more points here I just wrote down. One is exactly as you described. Trust your coach, and I call it blind weights, where you don't know what you're lifting, and that's cool. I've gotten tons of people with PRs or breaking. So oftentimes it's when there's certain colors on the bar or there's certain numbers on the bar. So like a 225 pounds for a clean and jerk, that's a sticky point for people. Or 185 pounds for a snatch. That's like a sticky point for somebody. So I'll just put on a bunch of random weights. They don't know what's on it. And they lift it. And I just keep adding weights, and they have no idea what's on the bar. And then I tell them, and they're like, that's 10 pounds more than I've ever done in my life. Neat, right? Because you had this self-limiting belief in your head that I can't lift this weight or I can't lift these plates. We just overcame that blindly. So let your coach do that for you, or ask them to do it for you, because it's a really cool experiment.
It is.
The other concept is curiosity. If you go into every event, every session with a sense of curiosity, you're always going to win. It doesn't matter what happens. Be curious. Hey, I wonder what will happen if I try this. Then it doesn't matter what the outcome is. The outcome could be a success or a fail. You just found out. Neat. I just found out what my max was. We told that to people after the CrossFit Total event. We said, if you didn't fail, you weren't curious enough. You didn't find your true potential because you just stayed within your safe zone. Oh, I know I can get this last lift. Okay, well, we didn't really find your true potential because you didn't fail it, right? I want to find out what that is. Let's be curious about it. And then whatever happens, cool. Now we know. It's neat.
Yeah. That's fantastic advice, because along with that curiosity is, okay, so you failed. Let's go heavy deadlifts here, because we can all relate to heavy deadlifts. Hi, Annie. That's Annie. Yeah, so we can all relate to a heavy deadlift. Everyone in our community has done a heavy deadlift. Now, if you push yourself, you push yourself past your limit, your current limit, and you fail, be curious. Where did I fail? Did I fail? Does it not leave the ground? Did it get halfway up my shins? Did I get it past my knees and then it wouldn't keep going? Because that is gold information. That's not a failure. I've learned where my weakness is. So now I can go away, modify my training, and really hone in on where that weakness is. So I'm really curious to see where this lift stalls. And then that is brilliant information to be able to get through that sticking point next time. So I encourage people to step back and look at it and go, which part of that lift did I fail? I didn't fail the whole lift. hey, if you walk up to the bar and put some crazy amount on, like that you've never tried before, that was out of your realm of, you didn't even think you would try that, like you did at the competition, Kevin. You could have walked up to the bar, right, and not been able to get it off the ground. So that could have been one or two things. It could have been you could have been using soft talk before you even approached it, therefore it didn't move. You may have lifted it up to the shrug and dropped it because you didn't feel like you could get under it fast enough. Or in your case, you got under it fast enough, but it came down, it slipped down. So what was that telling you about that lift, Kevin? What was the learning opportunity there?
Great. Slow elbows.
Yeah, slow elbows, whatever it is. So you can
Doesn't matter.
say, that part of the lift I didn't get, so now I know what I need to work on for next time.
Yep.
Yeah. So that type of approach is what keeps you in the game, that keeps you in the sport, that keeps you hungry to always get better. There is no ceiling. There is no ceiling on strength. There's no rules. No one's saying because you're getting older each year, you're going to get worse each year.
I'm the strongest I've ever been at 45, and it's crazy to me that it's still possible to keep getting stronger. Like, what's happening here? Everybody told me when I was in my 20s that, oh, wait till you get in your 30s, the things are going to slow down. And then that didn't happen. And now I'm in my 40s. Oh, wait till you get in your 50s, it'll slow. Okay, it's not happening yet. When's this going to happen? So I also want people to I want you to substitute two words for one. The words success and the words failure. Both of those, you've assigned meaning to something, where both are actually just information. So a successful lift or a failed lift, both give you information. That's it. It's just information. Now you have a choice to, what am I going to do with that information? So they're the same thing to me. Whether I made a lift or whether I failed a lift, both times, both scenarios are still information. Why did I make that lift? What went well? How can I repeat that? I didn't make the lift. Why didn't I make that lift? What information do I have from that? What can I do for the next time to make sure that doesn't happen again? It's just information.
Exactly. So thanks, Kevin. Thank you so much. And what we're going to do as a wrap up is I will send this recording out to everyone. I will then also send a little instruction out on things. I want everyone to make sure you bring with you your piece of paper tomorrow to our Super Saturday, the people that are coming. And I want you to write down your what if statement. What we'll do is we'll actually post them up on the wall. Okay? So we're going to put those. Yeah, we don't. I will also write on the board the soft talk words. In my gym, I have soft talk words permanently there. So I'll write the soft talk words on the board. We will paste up our little pieces of paper. And at the end, we're going to go back and we're going to get curious about that what if statement. So, and if everyone would like to do this, I will make sure that you are following, we're all following Kevin on social media, Facebook or Instagram, and you can send Kevin a little picture of your what if statement and a comment.
That'd be awesome.
To see what you learned. Be curious. What did you learn about that opportunity?
Can I just ask one last question? Because I just have to know what your thoughts are. When you were talking about the dryer and the marbles, as I had my eyes closed and you're saying imagine what it feels like, that is my exact feeling when I go to do that one lift at the end, when I've gone easy, 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 easy. Marbles. So do I throw the marbles out and think what if? Is that what I need to do? Or
yeah, you can identify what's that thought. There's a limiting belief. There's a limiting thought that's holding you back. Whatever that is, at that moment, write it down. Pick up a pen, write it down before.
It doesn't feel like a thought. It just feels like a buzz in my head, which is sort of like those marbles, but I can't draw a thought out. I don't know what it is.
So if that's true, you can start with your breathing. Focus on, and just again, be curious at the start. how am I breathing right now? Right before I go for that last lift, what's my breathing like? If it's labored or very shallow, just start by slowing it down, because your breath is linked to your thoughts as well.
Right.
Okay. Just focus. Be curious about it. Wow, I notice my breathing is kind of short, and I'm kind of breathing into my chest, not getting fully into my belly here. Let's see what happens if I slow it down. Ooh, now my thoughts are slowing down. Ooh, now I can think about the words that I'm saying, right? Like you're giving yourself more potential that way.
It's funny that you say that, because when I actually wrote my story down of that happening and the buzz, I wrote down, did I breathe? Did I breathe too early? Have I breathed? Should I breathe again? That is actually what goes through my head, and then it's all over. Then it buzzes, and then it's all over. So yeah, maybe I need to think about the
Take
breathing.
out the maybe.
Yeah, I need to think about the breathing. And what if? What if?
All right,
Yeah.
so
What if you start thinking about your breathing? Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
I love action. Action. What action are we going to take tomorrow morning? A solid action. Your solid action is you're going to have the what if statement linked to your breathing.
Yeah.
Full stop. End of story. That's your action. One action. Because remember, too many actions,
Yeah.
too many to-dos creates the overwhelm. So
Yeah.
one action, your action is going to be the what if
Yeah.
statement with the breathing.
Yep.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So thanks so
Thank you.
much, Kevin. And this is going to be a what's the word? A mission in motion, I'm going to call it, for tomorrow morning in our Super Saturday. Expect some feedback via. I would love to do this. We will do this via Instagram and Facebook. And if you start getting some weird messages coming through, you'll know it's people's what if statements.
Sounds good. Yeah.
That you've never met before.
Oh, good. I'll keep an eye out.
And, yeah, it'll be fun. I'm so excited. It makes me want to join in. In fact, what if I join in and practice what I preach?
What if?
Yeah. What if?
All right. Thanks, Annie, for coming along, and Sue for being our guinea pig.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you so much.
No problem. My pleasure.
And we'll be in touch.
Right on. Take care.